Well, it's been a minute, but I'm glad to be back. So, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these videos, so you're probably thinking, where the heck have you been? Well, when St. Louis City went to Nashville, I was at the Luke Combs concert that was here in St. Louis, and man, let me tell you, that was awesome. Just a few days later, that next Wednesday, when we lost to Salt Lake, was also unavailable for that one, unfortunately. The San Jose game, I went to go see a fireworks show. It was awesome, well worth it. But where we were parked, it took us like 45 minutes to get out of there. And even with the late start, by the time we got home, the game was pretty much over with. And I saw that the final score was 2-1 and that we had won. So 2 stinkers, 1 win since I've been gone. But I'd say this is a pretty good game to kind of jump back into things, right? So for this game, it's the rematch of St. Louis City versus Colorado. Now, earlier on in the season, we had traveled to Colorado, got a 1-1 draw in the process. Probably should have lost that game, if I remember correctly. We didn't really seem to play that well. Roman Berkey stood on top of his head for the whole 90 minutes, so we were looking for some revenge. And the starting lineup, when it came out, was very different, and I kind of liked that. The 2 biggest ones were Akil Watts and Josh Yaro in the back for the defense. I thought that was a pretty good move that, as you would see if you watch the game, was a great decision. I thought that was very interesting when I first saw it, to say the least. A.Z. Jackson getting another start there in the midfield, awesome. Big Sam Adeniran, getting another start up top, obviously with Klaus being injured, and Löwen being injured too, with that midfield, kind of makeshift, throwing some stuff together, seeing how it works. I like it. I like some different stuff, different looks. Let's see how it goes. And I was almost eating my words immediately, because within the first minute, Colorado gets a pretty good chance. Don't get me wrong, Berkey makes a great save, but I don't know if it was just a lack of communication, just the way we were set up, and they just caught us off guard. The defense kind of broke down super quick. Josh Yaro had to run back and put some pressure on the Colorado attacker who was facing goal. Berkey with a great save, diving to his right. And right off the bat, I'm like, this might be a repeat of when we played Colorado just a month or 2 ago. And just when I thought this might not be a great game, it turned into this is going to be a great game, because not even but a few minutes later, corner kick for St. Louis. A.Z. Jackson whips a ball in. Tim Parker all alone. No one's marking him. He lost his guy. Heads the ball into the corner of the net. St. Louis leads 1-0 before the 5-minute mark even hits. Stadium blows up, goes crazy. We got ourselves a pretty good City domination from the looks of things. And the pressure doesn't stop there, because just a couple of minutes later, Colorado has the ball in their attacking half, gets cleared away, long high ball, I forget by who. Ball comes down to Big Sam Adeniran, and he does this amazing half turn, half first touch that just goes 20 yards in front of him and chases after. It was a great move by him. He goes down the left wing. AZ and Joaquini are running in support there in the middle of the box as well. So Big Sam whips a cross in. AZ Jackson goes down. I think he gets drugged down by a Colorado player. Ball goes to Joaquini. He hits it. Keeper saves. I'm not too sure why they didn't call a penalty there, because it looked like Jackson would have gotten a touch on that ball first before it goes to Joaquini, and A.Z. Jackson was definitely impeded and brought down in the box. I think if Joaquini isn't there, you've got a much better potential to win a penalty kick there. But realistically, Joaquini needs to score that to make it 2-0 within 10 minutes, and he didn't. Keeper makes a great save, to be fair to him, but just 7-8 minutes into the game, and it's all City outside of that very quick chance by Colorado. So not even but a few minutes after that, City makes it 2-0. Big Sam has the ball in the near corner. If you're watching the TV, he was on the left wing facing the supporter section, and he's one-on-one against the Colorado defender, and he just kind of pokes the ball one way and runs around him the other way, and the defenders kind of have a lack of communication there. The guy he just went around was kind of looking at someone else to try and see if they would pick him up. They don't. Big Sam's able to get around the defender, get the ball back, lays it off for Jared Stroud, who's wide open, about 7-8 yards away, slots it home just to the keeper's left. It was right next to his foot. He had a guy in front of him. He was screened, but if I'm a Colorado fan, I'm definitely screaming at my TV for our goalkeeper to do a little bit better. But I'm on the other side. Jared Stroud makes it 2-0. Great finish. Goes in front of the supporter section, giving it one of these. That place was absolutely electric tonight, as always. I think I saw on Twitter the noise hit almost was just shy of 130 decibels. That's insane. This stadium is unreal. These fans are awesome. This team is awesome. 11 minutes into the game, 2-0 City. How many goals can we get? Once these 2 goals went in, it seemed to kind of level out. The game seemed to calm down a little bit. Both teams tried to start getting into their own rhythm of the game. Not much else happened for quite a while until about the 35th minute. St. Louis has another corner. Indiana Vassilev whips the ball in. Keeper punches away. Ball gets passed around a couple of times. Finds A.Z. Jackson, who goes in for a second cross and just barely overhits the head of Gioacchini and ends up falling right into the keeper's hands. But Gioacchini, he had beaten his man. If he gets ahead on that, he easily makes it 3-0. Wasn't meant to be this time, though. Keeper saves it. Still 2-0 just before halftime. Thus concludes the first half of the game. Halftime comes and goes. Second half kicks off and gets underway. And Colorado seemed like they were getting their feet into the game a lot more there in the second half. They were having a few more chances. There were never really any A or even B graded chances, really, in my opinion, but you could tell that they were finding their feet, they were getting into their rhythm, and if we weren't careful, then there's potential we could give up a goal. We didn't necessarily look bad at all. I think it was just more of okay, we got 2 goals, we're leading by 2, let's just go back to the style of we'll sit back, let them have the ball, try and make them do something, and let's catch them on a counterattack, which was pretty much how the whole second half went, which I'm not complaining about at all. I mean, that's how we've won so many games to start the season. So there wasn't really any urgency to go get a third, which, at times I think there were opportunities for us to do so. But hey, if you can make it work to where you just kind of sit back, not necessarily park the bus, but sit back, take some pressure, and still be okay, by all means. About the 60th minute, Colorado has a corner, and they win the header from the corner, but Berkey makes another great save. This is why he's going to the All-Star game, him and Tim Parker. Congratulations to you both. I should have mentioned that earlier. They both are well-deserved. I think Klaus and Leuven have arguments to make it into that team as well if they hadn't gotten hurt so recently. But that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, Berkey makes another great save. About 30 minutes left to go in the game, and we're just kind of in cruise control at the moment. You could tell that we were in kind of this cruise control, just going with the flow of the game at this point. Just a few minutes later, about the 65th minute, Colorado has a 3-on-2, 3-on-3, not so much odd man break, but they had good numbers coming the other way. They had a fast break, and a squandered pass goes straight to Roman Berkey. I mean, you could just tell that Colorado, they are the worst team in the Western Conference at the moment. And they just kind of played like a team that wasn't super confident in one another and maybe lacked the talent. Maybe lacked the talent of being one of those teams that could push for a playoff spot as well. This was a great chance for them, and the one pass that they tried to make to get around our defense was just not online. Berkey was right on top of it and picks it up just fine. So a couple minutes later, the substitutions start to come in, and in the 67th-ish minute, Jake Nerwinski, Rasmus Alm come onto the field, and Akil Watts and Jabulo Blom come off of the field. Now, when this first happened, I was a little bit confused because we got a clean sheet going on, and we don't play again until next weekend, so resting our guys doesn't necessarily make the most sense at the moment, especially because we're going to Toronto, and I don't know what the forecast is supposed to be, but I don't think it's going to be super hot and humid in Toronto, so I think they should be fine for that game. The way that I see it is if you got a clean sheet going, there's really no need to change anything, but that's why I'm a dude who makes videos on YouTube and not a head coach of an MLS team, so who knows what the thought process was to get those subs on. I was confused just because, like I said, we had a 2-0 lead and everything was going fine. We were allowing that pressure, like I said before, but everyone was handling it just fine. Maybe it was just because Akil Watts, hasn't gotten a whole lot of minutes, so just kind of taking him out before anything crazy can happen. That I can understand, but Jabulo Blom not playing a full 90 minutes, take it or leave it, we win the game, so I'm not complaining about it at all. Just at the time it seemed a little strange, but it all worked out in the end, so who am I to judge? So, about 10 minutes later, Jake Nerwinski and Celio Pompeu come onto the field and replace for Jarrett Stroud and Big Sam Adeniran. Both of these guys had great games as well. Big Sam with an assist. I keep saying Big Sam. I need to stop saying that. I'm thinking of Big Sam Allardyce over in England. I gotta keep it at Sam Adeniran. Jarrett Stroud, assist for Adeniran, goal for Stroud. Great games for both of them. What more can you ask from them, really? some goal contributions and some high press and some fast pace and just hard work and everything that you ask from them every single week. And then bringing on Rasmus Alm and Jake Nerwinski as well, obviously two mainstays in the first team, getting them some minutes after they didn't start. Or, sorry, not Rasmus Alm. He comes on later. Celio Pompeo comes on, and Nerwinski comes on. I'll get through it eventually, don't worry. Yeah, I mean, two subs again where I could understand that bringing Adeniran and Stroud out, but bringing on Nerwinski for Stroud was a bit like, okay, so is he going to play right mid, or are we going to go back to a back five for the rest of the game and kind of switch around up top? Wasn't really too sure. It seemed like it was more of like a 5 or 3 at the back, depending on where the ball was and things like that, which is fine by me. And then Celio getting a few minutes there at the end of the game as well. Pretty good for him as well. And then, a few minutes later, Rasmus Alm comes in for AZ Jackson. And they're in about the 80... Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying it Rasmus Alm, because he was on earlier. Oh, my goodness. It's been a few weeks, right? AZ Jackson comes out for Miggy Perez with about 5 minutes left to go in the game. Miggy Perez gets a big pop from the crowd. Absolutely loved it. Super cool for him. And AZ comes out. He gets a good pop as well coming off the field because he played a great game. I mean, he's making it hard for Bradley Carnell to take out of his team. I mean, he's every single week he's just working hard, winning loose balls, winning 50-50s, and just playing super well. So I can't wait to see him going on in the future. Miggy Perez comes onto the field. This is about the 87th minute. There's really not much going on in the second half other than substitutions, really. So that's why that's all I got to talk about. Then we move into the final few minutes of the game. Celio Pompeo has a great run down the left wing, and he's one-on-one with the defender, makes a move, makes a cross into the box. There was no one there initially, and then Rasmus Alm kind of circles around to try and get to that open ball. He does, tries to hit it with his left foot, but instead of going on goal, he sends it to Rosie. And that was kind of the end of the game, which was awesome because we get a 2-0 win over Stan Kroenke's Colorado Rapids, who stink. I think the crowd was chanting a Kroenke sucks chant there at the end of the game, which is awesome to see as well. Obviously not going to complain with anything related to that. Good 3 points, stay on top of the Western Conference, move on to Toronto next Saturday. Really, I mean, what more is there to say about the game? So there you have it. Another game done and dusted. We move on to Toronto next Saturday, and I'm very intrigued to see how this team's going to line up next Saturday. I mean, you've got Akil Watts, Josh Yarrow, AZ Jackson, Sam Adeniran. They all are newer to the first team, and they're playing super well. I mean, Jake Nerwinski, Nelson, Rasmus Alm, Ostrak. None of these guys are playing. I believe Ostrak had a yellow card suspension tonight. I don't think that's why he played at all. But even still, there's just so many guys that are fighting for these spots. It's just super fun to watch. And we have our two big stars outside of Berkey, Klaus and Leuven, who are hurt. Whenever they come back, who are they going to kick out? I mean, obviously they're going to go right back into the starting 11, but then who's going to drop to the bench? And then who's going to drop from the bench to the City 2 team? This team is super deep at the moment. Everyone's doing the right things, getting good enough minutes. This team's so good. I mean, we got the Leagues Cup. If we unfortunately drop out earlier than expected in that competition, that's just going to give us more time to rest and recover for the final stretch of the MLS regular season and then into the playoffs, which we should make, but, it's our first season. We're supposed to suck. Anyway, but, yeah. This team is just so much fun to watch. I can't wait to see them again next weekend and hope for another 3 points. So let me know what you guys think about the game down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought of the game. Like I said, I'll say it about 4 more times if I have to. Leave a comment, leave a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Tell all your friends, and I'll thank you very much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Peace.